Good morning and welcome to Body and Soul, and we're in the workplace once again. So today we're going to be focusing on how you get that job. You're out of work, you can be very depressed sometimes, especially if you're trying too hard. So what are some of the things that you need to consider in order to get that job? We'll be looking at that today. We have our guest coming in, Jenny Adjuman. She's a life and business coach. So she'll be telling you some of the things that you need to consider and some of the things that HR will be looking for when you are going to make the effort to go and get that job, okay? So, and then we're going to be doing exercises later. Whether you're out of work, if you're out of work, it's especially good time to be working out and getting your body into maximum condition. Don't waste your time while you have it, okay? So based on the same subject, I want to go straight into our motivational message and talk about, you know, just because you're jobless, does that make you hopeless? Okay, so what do we have to do? So the first thing is that the problem is that when we're out of work, we can get really depressed and downhearted and actually feel quite ashamed of ourselves. The more educated we are, the greater our qualification, the more disheartening it is, isn't it? When you've left university, you've done your years, you've done your national service, and then there's still no job opportunity, no matter how many applications that you put in. Well, you know, one example I'd like to use is a young lady who's big in Hollywood right now, Lupita Nyong'o. I don't know if I pronounced her name right. But she is a great example. She's actually took Hollywood by storm. And yet she's gone against all the odds. And what she says is that while she was preparing to be an actress, she wasn't just preparing to be an actress, she was preparing herself for the biggest role of her life. And the immediate she got out of Yale, studying for drama, she walked straight into that job. But people had heard about her from even when she was a student, the way she acted, the way she conducted herself, the way she prepared herself. She prepared herself for that special moment. So that moment came to her quicker than a lot. But she's hit Hollywood, and what's special about her is that she's setting a new trend for what is beauty. Now we're seeing true African beauty. Dark skin, short, nappy hair, as they say. Our nice, tight, curly African hair is coming through. And she's representing us because she had prepared herself when she wasn't working, when the opportunity wasn't there. She prepared herself for that big moment. And this is what I'm saying to you. Prepare yourself for that big moment. Don't just sit around and say, oh, I'm out of job and it's hopeless and I'm trying and trying. Don't just be trying. Feel yourself, look for the big time, and know that the big time is coming for you, and prepare yourself, because it's only when they heard about Lupita that she was offered the job. They sought after her. She didn't have to seek after them, because while she wasn't working, she gave herself a good reputation. Now, the next thing is that when you're out of work, don't take it that a job application failure makes you a failure. If every time you apply for the job and you don't get the job, then that has nothing to do with you. You try again. And if you put in 1,000 applications, then keep on trying. Don't give up on yourself, and don't, worst of all, see yourself as a failure. Now, one example of this that I'd like to use is Chris Gardner, who Will Smith ended up playing the role of this man in Pursuit for Happiness, the movie Pursuit for Happiness. Now, Chris Gardner was not only out of work, he was homeless with a small baby boy, a little boy, and by struggling and not accepting failure, not accepting rejection, he was having to organize to go to interviews while he was homeless on the street. So can you imagine so many of you who say that you don't have you don't have the right clothes to go for a job, or you're not prepared, or, you know, these are oftentimes excuses. Use Chris Gardner as an example, because he was such a powerful example in America. That's why from homeless he became so well known that Will Smith was able to demonstrate his life and his struggle. He's one of the greatest motivation messages we have for when we're talking about getting that job and keeping ourselves vibrant. And the final thing is that don't get depressed. Don't get so depressed and downhearted that you end up staying in your room and isolating yourself from other people. the more you are isolated from others, the less chance anybody knows about where you are or who you are. You've got to keep yourself happy, and you've got to keep yourself out there. Remember, your job when you are out of work is to keep a smile on your face and a smile on everybody else's face. It's to keep that smile of hope and to let others know that despite the amount of knockbacks, failures, disappointments that you are getting, you never stop smiling. You are out there. And even with the case with Chris Gardner, it was only because he was able to show how intelligent he was and how bright he was, because he kept his information out there and made sure that people knew about him, that eventually he was offered the job. So what I want to say to you is keep yourself alive. Your job does not define you. Find out about who you are and enjoy learning about yourself. Pick up a hobby. What they say is that if you know the best job in the world you can get is a hobby that you've enjoyed and you found a way to make that thing pay. So there's no such thing as being out of work. There's times when you're in employment and times when you're seeking employment or making the best of yourself. It's one or the other. Don't hide away. Come out of your room. Come out of the closet, as they say. Let people see you and let people see that you're constantly trying, because every company loves a trier, and the determination you show to get a job for yourself is what is going to make you attractive to that next employer, okay? So I hope that message has been useful for you this morning. We're going to speak to our guest now, Jenny, who's going to talk to us a little bit more about what we need to think about when we're out of work and we want to get that job. Hi, welcome back, and now we're speaking to Jenny. Jenny Adjiman, life and business coach, very dynamic young lady, been down here a few years from the UK and is here to show with us and encourage us to do our best to get that job. Hi, sweetheart, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Rima. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. You got
Great.
a nice handshake there. I remember, was it you that was telling me that
Probably, yes.
the handshake is important?
It needs to be firm, yes.
Yes, it needs to be firm and decisive
yes.
when you're going into that job interview.
Yes.
Okay, so Jenny, experience, qualifications, is that enough for us to get that job?
Well, in a word, no. I'll tell you why. There'll be so many other people who have the same qualifications as you, probably more experience than you, but you need to be able to stand out over and above those people. And that's where your personality comes through.
Right.
It's where your research comes through.
Right.
It's where your soft skills and your motivation and your passion to prove that you are the person for that job, not the other 10, 20, 30 who are also just as qualified and probably more experienced than you are. So technical skills are good, experience is good, but you need some very nice soft skills to go with that package to make you stand out.
Okay, and so, because I've had that, I've had people who come and they've just put the qualifications at the door, tell you you've done that, but they've got no panache, and you don't know if they'll fit with your company. And then, so sometimes when somebody's going for the job, how much of a solution do they have to be a solution? How does it work?
Well, they do. The company has problems, so it wants to pay money for you to come in. You're an investment for them. They need to see that you can provide a return on that investment.
That's right.
You need to be an asset, not a liability.
Okay.
So what problems do they have? People not coming to work on time.
Big one here, I think. And it's always traffic. The reason is always the traffic,
Or it rains, so they can't come to work.
Imagine.
Or they come early, they come late, and they leave early. There's a free meal today, this tomorrow. They don't want to be another problem. You need to be a solution.
Yeah.
So when you get to the interview, explain to them how, you know, in your old company, you were always there, you work later, always met your targets. Whatever you did in your old company, tell them.
Okay. But it is so important, isn't it, then, that you say you bring the solution to the company. So knowing about the company and understanding what are some of the problems that are happening in Ghana that employers are frustrated with.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
look in the papers, you know, look in the TV, look what they're talking about. And seriously, consider what your brand is and how you can fit that brand into the company's brand. What's their culture?
The brand of the company.
Of the company.
Okay.
Do your research.
Right.
You know, speak to anybody you know who's worked for that company, who's in that industry. Know your stuff, because in the interview, if you don't know your stuff, it will show.
So what do we mean by the company's brand? What are we talking
Oh,
about?
you know, what are their values? You know, who are their competitors? What new areas are they trying to delve into? Are they making profits? Are they making a loss? Have they got any new CEOs? You know, what's their target for the next 3, 5 or so years? Basically, with Google these days, you have no excuse. Do your research.
True, true. And what about, you said something to me about branding yourself.
Absolutely.
So what is that about?
Well, so there are 3 things, ABC. So your appearance, how you appear, your behavior, and your communication. So we talked about the handshake. You know, make it very firm, steady, a smile. You know, basically, you mentioned about getting to know yourself. Be very comfortable with who you are.
Yeah.
So when you get there, you're not shaking, you're not wondering, oh, what do they think about me? Show to them that they need you more than you actually need them.
Yes.
And then you'll be, you know, a cut above the rest.
So who are the people that always, you know, like there always seems to be some people who just always seem to get the job. They seem to be the lucky one.
True.
Is it luck, or are they doing something that we don't know about?
And it's more than luck. Oprah Winfrey said, luck is preparation plus opportunity.
That's
if you're not prepared,
I love that, I love that.
if you're not prepared when the opportunity comes, you're going to run the other way.
Yeah.
So it's not about luck. People who tend to get jobs are very positive, very passionate, always prepared, always reading. They're not stuck in their room thinking, oh, nobody wants to hire me. You know, in Ghana is who you know. Nobody knows me. Nobody wants me. Forget all that. Your belief system has to be so strong that when you get there, they're going to be convinced that basically they need you and they need to hire you today.
That's right. So yourself, you know, what advice would you give to people, your personal advice?
Yeah.
What's the most important thing you think they need to bear in mind?
I think work on your belief system. You know, believe that there's a job out there for you.
Yeah.
Don't think, oh, the whole economy is going down, so I'm distressed. Because think about it. While you're saying the economy is going down, people are getting jobs. So who are they?
Yeah.
You need to make sure that you're on that side of the equation, not the other side. Because there are jobs out there. Companies want to grow and they need staff, which is their greatest resource. You need to make sure you're one of those people that the company needs to get their bottom line figures up. I
think one of the commonest things, this is the last point I want to make now, but I think one of the commonest things I hear here, Jenny, is that people feel that you're not qualified because of what you know, but it's who you know.
Yeah. To be honest, I was told that coming back to Ghana, oh, you left at 11, nobody knows you. I said, well, I know what I know and I have something to offer.
Right.
Once you know what you have to bring to the table, nobody has to tell you that, and you won't actually listen to those people. Forget those. Go for those who believe in you, who will encourage you, motivate you, but most of all, motivate yourself. You're with yourself the whole time.
Okay.
So work on your mind.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you think that coming from UK now and having a British accent, do you think that has given you an extra footing through, you know, got your foot through the door?
Well, maybe, maybe not. But if I was stuck in my room, nobody would hear it.
That's right.
So if I've been away and come back, people have been here their whole lives. Then they know the system. They have friends. Whatever advantage you have, good.
Yes, I love
See
that.
yours as a plus. Don't think yours is a minus. Mine is a plus. Because I've still got to use what I know to come out and make a difference.
Beautiful point, Jenny. Beautiful point. I love what she's saying. She's so bang on. So we're going to keep Jenny around for a while, but we're going to go into some of the facts which actually coincide a lot with what Jenny is saying. What are they saying in the industry? What are HR and the specialists saying about getting the job? We'll be dealing with that in a moment, but thank you so much, Jenny.
It's been a pleasure.
I'm going to have you back. You know that.
I'll be back.
You're great. You know yourself, okay?
Thank you.
We'll be back in a moment with Science and Research. Hi, okay, so welcome back. And we're talking about how do you get that job. And like I said, I know it can be very disheartening and very depressing when we look at the statistics. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to depress you even more by giving you some more statistics and facts about why it might be so hard to get that job and why you need to step up your game. This is the time. So let's have the first screen come up. This is the time that we need to step up our game. Now, this crowd does not nowhere near represent the amount of young people, and when we're talking young, we're talking people 18 to 25 who are entering the workforce in Ghana each year. In each year, we have 300,000. Can I say that again? 300,000 young people who are entering the workforce. And out of those 300,000, there are only official jobs, formal jobs, should we say, for 6,000 of those people. So 98%, 97% of the population doesn't even stand a chance because the jobs are just not there for you in the first place. Okay, so sometimes we have to consider looking at other options because the job market in this country is one that requires entrepreneurs right now. Having said that, that does not mean that you cannot continue to look for the job. You keep looking because you might be one of those 6,000, and statistics are not always exactly accurate, and you are not a statistics. You remember that. The job that you want, you go out for it and kit up yourself, gear up yourself, look the part, be the part, act the part, and make sure that you cannot be turned down. Okay, so what are the next things that when we're talking about going for a job? Well, the industry is saying don't lie, don't bluff, don't put information on your CV that you cannot back up later. I had a friend in UK who bluffed their way into a job, top engineering job, brilliant salary, company car, everything. Within 1 week, he phoned me in an emergency that he couldn't do the job. He could bluff his way through the interview, he could bluff his way through the CV, but don't lie to get a job because that's obviously not your job. Let somebody who's better qualified do that job, and you step on and put in true and honest qualification. And this comes back to what Jenny was saying earlier, where we really do need to research the company. Make sure the job that you are applying for fits you. It's not just that you want the company, you want to work for a company, but the company should need you, and you should feel when you're going into the company you're an asset. You're going in there to trade. You're not going to beg for a job or get down on your knees or apologize or compromise in any way. You have the qualifications, you have the skill, you have the ability. You don't need to lie, you don't need to bluff. You go in there, tell them the truth, tell them what you've got, and deliver and be strong, okay? And then the next thing is that what we're saying here is make looking for a job your job. And I think that's, you know, when you consider that 98% of people leaving university and entering the workforce each year, 300,000 people there around is going to be out of work. So you've got to know how to fill your time. And this is the time where you fill by learning about yourself, who you are, what are your ideals, what are your hobbies, what are your passions. Remember, when you get in that job, you'll just be doing the job and shut down. And there's so many people who are doing jobs that they hate because they just didn't check out who they were while they were out of a job. So when you're out of a job, get up at, early in the morning still, write your CV applications, make looking a job your job. And then we're always concerned with fitness, so go to the gym, work out, keep yourself looking slick, you know, keep yourself fresh, keep yourself ready. Do not rely and watch everybody else who's downhearted and miserable and sitting in their rooms. You keep yourself fresh and lively, keep looking for a job, and make looking for a job your job. That way you don't get depressed and you don't get miserable, and you look for good rewards, and you will get a reward when you approach it systematically, Monday to Friday, 9 till 5. What is my job? Looking for a job, okay? And then the other thing is another point that me and Jenny was discussing earlier, especially common here. People tend to think that others are getting into a job, you know, like the male employee might feel that the female employee is getting the job because she's using her feminine charms, pushing her way through the door. Where how can a man do that with another man? Well, not in this country anyway. So, and then we've got other things where you've got family. Is it nepotism, where you've got relatives that are in the job, or they feel that relatives are getting the jobs just because of who they are, and they're related to the boss in some way. But you can't let that discourage you, because many companies want a genuine employer, and many people who have employed their relatives soon learn that that is a big mistake, because they cannot get the discipline out of a relative. So sometimes you who are there, don't let any factor like that put you off. You make sure that when you're going for a job, you've got the credentials, and you're not looking to be a relative or to cheat or, you know, be underhanded in any way. It's not necessary, my friend. And sometimes when we start out in our underhanded way, we have to keep that rubbish up to stay where we are and to get higher up in the position. And then the final point is that when you go into a job, you are selling yourself. It is you are selling. You're not selling anybody else. You're not selling your school or your university. So this is why it was important that when you was out of a job, you was getting to know yourself. Are you fast? Are you reliable? Are you efficient? Are you creative? Are you imaginative? What are you? What are your skills? What do you enjoy doing? Are you a patient person? Are you a detailed person? The more you know about yourself, when you step through that door, you can sell yourself. But if you simply think that throwing a CV to HR and thinking HR is going to give a damn, HR will have a pile of CVs on the desk. You've not only got to sell yourself, but you've got to sell yourself to the right person. And do not leave it to HR. You make sure that you apply and find out who the boss is, who the chief executive, and get your foot through his or her door and speak to the person at the top and impress them with yourself. Dazzle, make sure you're dazzling, make sure you shine, make sure you look good, you dress good, your nails, your hair, your teeth, your eyes, your smell, everything should be looking fantastic 24/7. Not just when you're presenting yourself in front of that employee, but all the time. Because remember, the other person on the street who's seen you looking down and untidy and scraggly will also tell that chief executive that no, he's only dressed like this for the interview. The rest of the time he looks a tramp. You've got to look good, feel good, be sharp 24/7, and like we say, do not rely on HR. They are the last person you rely on for your job. When you want a job, you make sure that you get to see the person in charge and do not be put off at the front door, okay? I really hope this is going to be helpful for you. We're going to go into our exercise session. Like I said, once you're out of work, whether you're in work or out work, we need to look after our body, keep ourselves fit and vibrant. So those of you who are at home and looking for a job, their job, I want you to take a 5-minute break and do some stretches along with me to get ourselves flowing, our energies moving right, and to feel positive about the day so that we can look for that job a little harder, okay? Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of exercise. We're going to warm up our upper body. We've done some of these exercises before, so I want you to move along with me, and we're going to start stretching out and relaxing ourselves. Okay, so let's stretch our neck side to side. Beautiful. Make sure you push it all the way. Chin to shoulder. Chin to shoulder each time. Put it away. Let's go double time. Let's go. 1. Push it out. 2, good. 3, 4, good. Now we're going to go ear to shoulder, good. Take it to the other side, ear to shoulder, good. That feels good. Let's do that side to side now. 1, the music is fast with me. 2, I hope you can keep up at home. 3, let's go for 8. Let's go, Basil.
8.
Good. 7. Move it across. Move that neck. Release the tension.
5.
4, 3, 2, 1. Take it in a circle. Good. Circle. Circle it around. Lovely. Let's unwind that vertebrae in our neck. Take it the other direction. Take it the other direction. Sorry, Basil. I don't stick to my time. Good. Good. Now let's take it down to our shoulders. Good. Can that camera come down just a little bit? Good. Take it down to our shoulders. Lovely. Taking our shoulders back. This time we're going shoulder to ears. Shoulder to ears. Lift our shoulders up to our ears. Now let's take that forward. Same thing. Forward. Shoulder to ears. Opening up our back. Taking all the tension out of our back. Let's add our arms in now. 6. 5. Good. 4. Lovely. When we add our shoulders in, our back muscles are opening up. Beautiful. Feeling it all over. Take it back now. Take it back. Good. For 6. Good. 3. Good. Lovely. You're feeling that chest open up. You're starting to enjoy it now. Wonderful. Let's keep that going. Beautiful. And now we're going to make that movement even bigger. Bring it out. Good. Bigness. Warming all out of your body. You should be feeling it in your shoulders, around your chest. Take it forward. Let's go. 1. Good. 2. Beautiful, Basil. Are you feeling that, Basil? Nod your head if you do it. Good. Keep going. Lovely. Open it up. Good. Nice. Our shoulders are warm. Let's warm our back. Take it to the side. 2. Good. The key thing here, keep your hips facing the front. Don't make your hips be swinging. Sorry, don't make your hips be swinging in any direction. Don't want this. We want your hips locked to the front and just your upper body moving. Now let's put our elbows into that. Breathe out. Breathe. Extend the arm. Extend it. Woo, woo, woo. Extend it all the way. All the way. Lovely. 3 more like that. Good. Lovely. You should be feeling hot now. Sweating a little bit. Let's take it to the side. Down. Other side. Down. Let's keep our hands down for now, Basil. 3. Good. Take it for 6.
4.
Good. 5. Now bring our hands into it. Up. Bring our hands up under our armpits. Under your armpits. Tight tummy. Breathe out. Shoulders back.
5.
Yeah. Push it out. Good.
7.
Lovely. Now let's see how we can make this a little bit harder. Lift your hand up and go. And other side up. Good. Let's go.
3.
And up. That side. Let's go. Up. Beautiful. Up.
7.
Good.
Last one there.
Now hands together. Take it down to the floor and up to the back. Down to the floor and all the way back. Down.
5.
Good. Down.
7.
Now take your leg, side leg to side leg. And up. Take it down. And up. Good. Down. And up. Down. Now let's do a full circle. Go this way. Down. Woo. All the way. All the way. Lovely. Do 3 one side, 3 the other side. Lovely. Take it the other way, Basil. Take it the other way. Drop that lower back. Breathe out.
2.
Yes, we're coming to the end of this now. Wonderful. Lovely. Okay, shake it out a little bit. And we'll just do a quick hip rotation to make sure that our hips are, oh yeah, let's wind up, let's open up our vertebrae, open it all up. 4, 3, 2, take it the other way. Good, squeeze it round. Okay, open up our vertebrae, all of our spine. Good. Okay, well I'm sweating even if you're not. You okay? All right. So if you want to find out anything more about what we've been discussing on the show, or if you want to work out with us, come along to the ISIS Center. I hope my number's up on screen. Give me a call and we'll introduce you to Jenny for life coaching and business coaching and work out with Basil, myself and some of our other trainers. Don't make unemployment make your life a misery. You are not your job. Your job does not define you. You are your own person. You have to continue to smiling because when you're unhappy, smiling becomes your job, okay? I'll see you next week.